guess the dog thinks he's some sort of vehicle that needs to be fixed. Well, my wife told me I had to take her to work this morning, and before I go pick her up, I better have the oil changed and the low tire light out on the Jeep here, because yeah, she gave me a couple options if I didn't do it, and none of them were very good, so I guess I'll just have to change the oil and put air in the tires and get the low tire light to go out of the dash, because it's annoying her. I will say we've owned this car almost 2 years to the day, and it's been pretty good, but it's got the most annoying warning chimes and little warning indicators in the dash in any car I've ever owned. And it lets you know. It lets you know if one tire's 2 psi different from the other, and it lets you know until you put air in the tire. So, but that's what I got to do this morning. Kick the gremlin out, and so I thought I'd just show you how to change oil on a 2018 Jeep Renegade. Well, technically you should get the mileage. That way you know what to stick on your sticky note. The other reason I'm changing oil and not making Dodge do it is because our little 2-year free oil change thing is done, so I'm not going to pay them $100 to change the oil in it. So, alright, I'm going to get the hood popped open and drain the oil, and I'll let you know right now, I have not ever changed oil myself in this car, so we'll learn together. To tell you the truth, I don't even know if I've even opened a hood and has ever looked in this car before. It's got that tiny little 4-cylinder in it, which is kind of odd that they coupled this one with a 9-speed paddle shift automatic, or you can put it in manual mode. I guess it's not really a paddle shift. Kind of is. You can shift through the gears, but 9 gears seem a little excessive for this, but you know, I've put it in manual mode, and without 9 gears, yeah, this little motor doesn't have enough oomph to pull this, I'm sure, 5,000 pound SUV around, but I guess it's what happens when you buy a new car and you got warranties. You just don't even open the hood and look at it yourself. Well, looks like she's got a little bit of a oil leak on there. I'm guessing it's just the oil filter. I don't know. Also looks like she's due for some front tires, maybe even an alignment. I guess those are pretty good tires. They've lasted since we've owned this car, so 29,000 miles I think is what we got. But anyways, where is it at? There it is. Probably about like a 13 millimeter an oil filter, so should be pretty easy. Well, that's kind of cool. Looks like a piece of styrofoam. I don't know if that's picking up that casting very good, but I don't know if that's good or bad. Kind of looks like styrofoam, but alright, well, I'm gonna pull that oil plug out, get this filter off, and drain the oil, and go from there. Now, like 2 years ago, I was smart and bought me a case of oil for this particular car and an oil filter, and they had been sitting around for a while, but this is what CarQuest recommended back in the day to put in it. I don't know what Dodge puts in it from over there at the Dodge dealership, but I've been told it's 5.5 quarts of oil. I'll double check that before I fill it up. Best thing to do is probably just put 5 quarts in it, start it, run it a minute, and then check and see if you need to add some more to it. But I'm sure everybody and their dog knows by now to put a little bit of oil on the O-ring of the oil filter. And I don't know about filling this oil filter up with oil, but I'm probably going to, just since it goes straight up, and you know, I don't want to burn up my Jeep. So oil is draining wherever it's at, and I'll get that filter off next. Okay, so got my new filter full of oil and O-ring up, but I know what the oil leak is now. I haven't gotten a wrench and I haven't done anything but climbed under here, and I took my hand, and I mean, it's not even tight, so it makes me feel better. That's what the little bit of an oil leak that I started noticing in the driveway is loose oil filter, or oil filter getting loose. But hit this drain, I'll stick the new one on, put the oil plug back in, and go from there. Alright, well, it probably doesn't look like it, but I took brake clean and kind of cleaned everything up so I can see if there's an oil leak later. But you know, there is a torque spec for the oil pan oil plug, but you know, I've been putting oil plugs in oil pans for quite a few years. I'm not gonna like go crazy on how many years, but I'd say at least 15 years, and I've never stripped an oil plug, and I've never used a torque spec on one, and I've never had one leak either. So I just tighten it until it feels good to me, not too tight and definitely not too loose. But if you cherish your Jeep Renegade, you will not listen to me, and you will go find the torque spec. Now, I like this car just enough to tell you that I will clean the grit out of there. I will find a semi-clean oil filter, and I don't know, I'm kind of weird like this, but I will clean the dipstick before I start putting new oil in it, even though there's no oil on it. But that's just how I am. And if I can do this with the camera, there we go. So I'm gonna clean that out, put my half clean filter or funnel in there, and fill her up. And my wife also has a broken fog light. Nobody tell her, because then I'll have to fix that. Alright, well, that tells you how much oil it takes. Not sure why they split it from the 1.4 to the 2.4, because they all hold the same amount of oil. So I was smart before I just started dumping too much oil in there. I'm generally not that smart, so I guess kudos to me. Alright, I put exactly 5.5 quarts in there. Probably too much, because I probably didn't drain it all out. Well, let's see if we can make the car quit complaining so much. Wow, that's only like 25 psi. No wonder the car's whining about it. Dug this thing out here. I shouldn't breathe so hard, I guess. Got the camera a little foggy. Well, just a touch more. It seems to like 32 pounds. Alright, I'm not even going to check it. I'm so confident that's the right amount of tire pressure. Well, I'm going to do all the other 4 corners, and this project will be about done. Alright, well, I guess we'll see how many lights and chimes and things go off. Oh, look at that. It's telling me to change the oil. Rather than not having the oil pressure. Tire is low. Well, I don't know. Anyways, I guess I'll have to look at the tires again now. It says they're way lower than they actually are, so we'll see. Until next time, thanks for watching. And that's how I fixed the Renegade, which is clearly not fixed. Quick update to turn off the oil change light anyways, not the tire lights. You just turn off the car without touching the brake pedal. You turn it on, and then you pump your accelerator 3 times slowly in 10 seconds, and then you just turn it off again and then start it. But I did that, so the oil light's out now, but I guess I'll have to drive around and see if the tires are going to go to normal.